Howdy tubers. 2 nights in a row. Crazy, huh? I'm gonna take my glasses off because they reflect and it drives me up the wall. So, um, tonight I'm just gonna talk a little bit about, or I want to expand a little bit about what I talked about last night. Sometimes I realize after I finish a video, there are all these things, because I tend to do this, like I get distracted by a subject and I walk off some direction and I don't get back to the original thing I was trying to say. So one of the things I wanted to clarify was this. I know that doing this, it's like I have to do it. And yet it is totally fucking with my life in every kind of way. And so I mean by that, it is now February. Surgery scheduled for June. Starting June 4th, I won't be able to do jack shit for a long, long time. And I'm a busy, busy guy, okay? I like to go sit at happy hour. I like to do work. I like to get work in the yard. I like to work on my house. I like to do all these things, but I'm not going to be able to do any of that. I'm going to be helpless, which really sucks for me because I don't do helpless well. Hey, shh, shh, shh. I'm a great caregiver. One second. Yeah. Shh. So I'm a great caregiver, but I'm not a good patient, and that's bad. That's really bad. So, and everything I've found, everybody I've talked to, everybody who's been through this that I've found so far, while there's a range about how long it takes you to kind of get back up and moving, and this is one of the reasons why I love the videos. Like, even if I come on here a week after surgery, I'm not going to be at my best. I'm not going to be able to do things. But one of the things that I appreciated about other people that did that was I kind of got to see truly how mobile they were, what they really couldn't do. I could hear them, and the people who were in pain, you could hear it in their voice, even though they were trying to just kind of matter-of-factly tell you about what's what. You could hear whether they were in pain or not in pain, how comfortable they were, how much they were struggling. Some of them are actually very honest about it. And I've watched a bunch of different guys who've gone through this who've documented. And it's just, I just know it's a minimum of maybe 6 weeks. And when I asked the doctor, like, realistically, until I can get up and paint the house, he was like, 3 months. I have to go back to work in 10 weeks. And I can't explain this to anybody. So I have to literally disappear for the summer and then hope come the 7th of August. So 2 weeks, well, it'd be 2 months. So June 4th to the 7th of August, I have to be able to go back to work. I don't know. I'm hoping, my fingers are crossed, that that's what's happening. But who knows? I don't know if I'm actually going to get that or not. I don't know. So I wanted to expand a little bit on that piece. And then the other piece is this fear factor. And I've heard some guys talk about it before they had surgery and some guys talk about it after they had surgery. For me, I'm going to talk about it before, because I think part of the journey is the anticipation to get to that place. This is what I look for when I look for people to watch. Sorry, I'm itching. One thing that's important to me is to figure out their mindset and what happened when they got there. So from the moment they got hacked up, and then to see the process. Because to me, this is the way my brain works. I know there's tough times. I know there's going to be a lot of pain. I know there's going to be a lot of difficulty. There's probably going to be more doctor visits than I want there to be. I have to go between Houston and Austin to make this happen. I've already put my son on notice that since he's graduating from college, in May, and his PhD program, whichever one he finally gets into, won't start until August. He gets to take care of me the whole summer, so this is his job. And so he's going to be the one carting me back and forth to Austin for my checkups and that kind of stuff. It's about a 2.5 to 3 hour trip one way. So I'll have to do like a round trip. I don't know if I'm going to just hook up with an Airbnb that I can stay at every time I come in and just go ahead and make my reservations. Or I haven't decided. Like, I haven't decided if I can go and come back in the same day. I don't really know how I'm going to feel or what. So then the other piece of it is I'm just freaking terrified. Literally, I've watched, if you go on the internet, you can watch ALT. There's a video watching them slice your leg chunk off, watching them roll it up, watching that shit sewn onto your body. Some doctors use staples, some people don't. I mean, I'm looking at all this, like, this raw meat being, excuse me for being graphic, but literally this is what it is. Your body is getting hacked up. Some guy comes in and goes and takes that off, and he rolls that thing up, and then he cuts you up, because in order to make the blood supply connect, then right at your groin area, they literally have to cut a piece, a flap that they open, so they go in and connect the blood flow. And then they put, and then in some of them, and this was fascinating because it took me a while to figure this out, there's a difference, like I didn't even understand this, but the difference between free flap and something called pedicle is pedicle never detaches completely from your body. This is some pretty neat ass shit, by the way. So they go, so like this is your, say your bikini line, right? And they will come down here on your leg and they make your phallus, right? But it's all still connected. It's all one piece. And then what they do is they disconnect one side of it, and then they cut a hole right, like right where your kind of leg bends, just above where your leg bends. And then they poke their finger through to another hole, which is the hole where your phallus is going to come out of your pelvic area. And so then they take this piece from your thigh that they've rolled and turned into a penis. They literally shove it under this skin, and then they pull it out so it never detaches from you. It's like one big piece, and it's like your innie becomes an outie. I know that sounds stupid, but it's kind of weird. So that's called the pedicle procedure. They come up through under the skin and come out the other side, so you're still connected, and then they just sew all this shit back up. So you start looking like you have these V cuts that go here, and it's just strange, right? And then, of course, the free flap is when they completely remove it. So most of the time, the free flap happens on your arm, where they have to complete, because there's no way in fuck they're going to flip that over to your groin. Just saying. Unless some weird thing happens with your arm, it's probably not happening. But that's the free flap part. So they take the whole piece off, preserve the main arteries, roll it, create your urethra, put it all back together, and then they sew it onto the front of your. But even then, they still have to cut a slit about yay wide in your groin, right above your, or on your pelvic bone area, so that they can connect the blood flow. They have to connect the main arteries. So it's like, you know, it's big shit. It's like seriously meat cutting big shit, you know. And I know that's kind of a raw way to talk about it, but that's what I'm going to say. And I mention that because the idea of having my body cut up like that is a little disturbing. And I'm trying to be as realistic as possible about what's going to happen to me. My son's playing a video game on the other side. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he's crazy. So anyways, the point is that I have to be as realistic as possible, because I cannot walk into this thing and then expect to heal from it if I'm not clear on everything that's going to happen to me, even the grossest of the gross shit. The thing that makes me keep going in this direction, makes me know this is, this just has to happen, is that I've seen guys that are way post-op and they have these normal lives. These lives like I totally like covet in ways you can't even, well, some of y'all probably can imagine. This idea that everything that holds me back from everything else I want to do in my life, and there's quite a few things I really want to do, is being whole, being complete. And for some guys, that's not a thing. They don't give a shit. They got a beard and they're good. Or they had top surgery and they're fine. For me, I'm not ever going to be able to get to that place. I can't get there until I do this, which is why I'm doing it. As frightening, as fucking frightening as it is. So that's my raw piece this evening. I will, like I said, I'm going to try to start documenting as we go along. I'll probably won't make another video for another week or two until I go to my next electrolysis as we get closer. And then, like I said, next month, I'm expecting the doctor to put in for the pre-authorization. And so as soon as that comes through, then shit's going to just start kind of moving really quick. So, yeah, so there you go. Fun times. Peace.